All right, what's going on, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. So just got off the phone with my dad. He said, hey son, you got to get down to Home Depot, check it out. Huge big red, white, and blue sales event taking place. Certain Home Depots have a Milwaukee tool rep there that you can ask questions. Might be kind of cool if you can get down to yours, see if you have a rep, see what kind of questions that he can answer for upcoming products and what kind of deals that they have going on. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Those of you who were in my live stream last night know that I have another priority that I have to do this weekend, which is to remove and stab a transmission in this Nissan Pathfinder, which if I don't get a chance to get to today, hopefully I can get at it tomorrow. But I got a lot of running around to do. I got to pay a few bills, go to a couple stores, grab a couple little essential items for work, and then I still want to go get me a burger from Cafe 247. So I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. So Husky's coming out with some cordless stuff, huh? Well, they have one tool. Look kind of cool, kind of gimmicky. I don't really know. I don't think I'd go with Husky for that, but whatever. Okay, Allen's, you're gonna run into stuff on the 6-liter and Audi transmission pan. You're gonna need a 14 and a 17. Came with both. Pretty impressed. Wish they had a 12. They didn't. These organizers are actually pretty nice. I have a couple myself at work. Okay, VCG Construction, my boy Vince was talking about some of the deals that DeWalt had and the clear case bit drivers that they were coming out with and the black oxide drill bits coming in clear cases. So I thought I'd go down to my local Home Depot, check out pricing, see if what the other competitors had to offer. We're going to take a look at things like Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a pretty good option. Now they have cobalt, the titanium, and black oxide for drill bits, but we're going to take a look at some of their other bits as well. What I had to stop right here though, the Makita. Makita is coming out with something pretty cool. Look at this. Little socket set, SAE. They also make it in metric with a hex driver adapter to fit in your cordless gun with a universal extension at the other end. So if you needed it to wobble a little bit to get around those studs or maybe joist brackets or whatever kind of weird oddball attic or crawl space stuff that you're working with, I thought it was actually pretty cool. But I actually think that Makita makes a better set than Milwaukee, DeWalt, and we're even going to look at the one Ryobi had, but look at the bonus pack you get. Now Vince was saying T20s and number 2s for days, you're going to want them. I don't know if it's a good thing that they give you so many or if it's a bad thing that they give you so many, but I think it's worth taking the gamble for sure. Now I have a Milwaukee set, picked it up for the wife, not this big set, but a smaller set, and I got some problems with that magnetic bit, which I'll share with you later in this video. Let's take a look at some of the DeWalt stuff that Vince was talking about. So yeah, I did find the see-through case ones that he was talking about up here. There was actually another display elsewhere, which we'll see later in this video. And here's the magnetic adapter. Overall, I think it's a really nice set. Comes with that sleeve driver. Pretty much covers most of the stuff that you're gonna need, but they had 3 different variations in these see-through cases that you could have picked from, between the black oxide drill bits and then 2 different styles. You know what? I'll put Vince's video down in the description. Go watch his video. He does a great job explaining what all this stuff is. Looking at Ryobi, okay, about $4 or $5 north of the DeWalt and pretty competitive as far as Milwaukee and Makita is concerned. But I thought they had some nice features in here as well, between the 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and 3/8 driver adapter for sockets and whatnot, and some of the other extra added bits that they have. Now, we went over to the display. I found the other 2 cases, the black oxide drill bits and some of the max torque. Look, freaking great deal, 20 bucks. All right, so all that running around for nothing. I still ended up right where I very first started, which was Home Depot. I was really hoping for to spend half as much as I did just to find some small generic set, which I thought would be readily available at pretty much any store that I went into today. But looks like Home Depot for the win, so I'll take you guys home and we'll see what he got. All right, so Home Depot for the win as far as what it was that I was actually looking for, which was an SAE deep shallow socket set without having to break the bank or buy a big monster set or unnecessary amount of sockets that I didn't need. So the fact that I was able to pick up this 6-point deep, Husky deep, and 6-point Husky shallow SAE sockets covers 5/16 all the way up to 7/8. I think it was 20 bucks for one and 22 for the deep. So that's all that I wanted. I didn't need anything major. I even looked at the sets, okay? I even looked at the sets to see, well, if I'm already gonna be spending almost 40 bucks, am I gonna be really gaining that much extra by buying them in individual sets versus buying the small little box set with ratchet and extension? Unfortunately, yes, actually, I did get more sockets by buying them individual sets than to buy the actual kit for 45 or 47 bucks, because they skipped some sizes, they cut off some of the ones in the end, so no 7/8, and then they cut off like below 1/2 inch, so you were kind of missing some stuff, so I was like, whatever, rock and roll. Now, you're probably asking me, Justin, why didn't you go to Harbor Freight? I did. Problem I don't like with the Harbor Freight individual socket sets like this is the deeps are usually covered in 6-point. Their shallow sets are usually covered in 12-point. So I would have had to buy a bigger set or some kind of comparable set in order to actually use it. And even then, I'm not sure exactly how much, to what extent that I would have had to pay in order to get the sizes that I was looking for specifically with SAE. But before I spent any money, I also went to AutoZone, hoping that they might have had a Duralast set there. Because, you know, Craftsman, Duralast, they're usually pretty good about making these smaller kits in just SAE 3/8 drive and in just metric if that's what you're looking for. Same thing with Craftsman. Now, I didn't have time or money really to drive all the way down to the lower desert, some hour and a half away, to go see about picking up some made in China Sears Craftsman set from either Lowe's or Sears. I didn't have that kind of time or availability, so I just kept it local. So I shot over to O'Reilly's hoping for one last pit stop before I made my decision in going back to Home Depot. And O'Reilly's had the same exact problem that Harbor Freight has. Their shallows were in 12-point for the Blue Torque, and their Blue Torque deeps were in 6-point. So I would be getting two different styles of sockets, which is not what I want. I want 6-point, deep and shallow. That's it. Just keep it simple. I also looked at those smaller sets. They didn't have any smaller sets that covered the range that I was looking for. To go from 5/16 all up to 7/8, that's a perfect set for me. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That's the range that I wanted. So I went back to Home Depot and I picked them up. I also picked up another one of these magnetic Husky socket trays. But before I did, I had to remember, I'm like, okay, now I'm getting a full set. I want to make sure this is going to cover all freaking deep and shallow, because I don't have anything to put them in. I'm not trying to look how to reorganize my cart or anything. I just need a rail big enough for the new sockets that I'm getting ready to occupy my box with. Okay, 10 on each side, perfect, because I got 10 deeps and I got 10 shallows, and that's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and stab these on here, and I'm going to talk about some other things. Now, when I was over at Harbor Freight, I did talk to their management team about the Icon toolbox that they're coming out with. Hasn't hit the store yet. But their manager actually did go to the big service convention that they were having with all the new Icon lineups and Harbor Freight lineups. He saw some pretty cool stuff. I don't know that he took any pictures. He didn't have any on his phone to show me. But the female manager actually did have another resource for those of you that want to look at some of the newest innovations that Harbor Freight have to offer. I think it was called Harbor Freight Tools Couponers, and it's on Facebook. And basically she had told me that, hey, did you know that Harbor Freight actually makes the service cart, the little one that everyone likes, the 5-drawer? They actually make it in white with black trim, I think it was. She goes, you should check it out. I was like, oh, that does sound pretty cool. Or maybe it was white with silver trim. It's either silver or black trim. I thought it was cool because, you know, the bigger toolbox companies, they do the white. Some people want to match their big box with the service cart. So if you have a toolbox already that's white with black trim or white with chrome trim, you might check out what Harbor Freight has. Now, I know not every store has them. They unfortunately did not have one on display for me to actually check out and show you guys. But I thought it was pretty cool that they're starting to come up with some new color concepts outside of the newer colors that they already provide. Something else that she was telling me too, and same thing with the gentleman that was a service manager there, with the Icon toolbox, it's not an individual stacked set. It's one big freaking like monster sized toolbox with hutch, locker, extra storage bins, side cabinetry, bottom chest. It looks pretty freaking nice. I'm just saying. I did ask them if they were going to be making it in separate, like top and bottom halves or end lockers, so if you decided to add to your pre-existing US General toolbox, you could, using the Icon toolbox lineup. He said no, right now they're not currently making them in separate portions, but that remains to be seen here in the coming months or coming years whenever Icon actually does hit the local Harbor Freight. So that would be pretty cool to see. I'm kind of excited about that, but he was telling me there was a pretty heavier set guy that was there, opened a bottom drawer on this toolbox and literally jumped up and down inside of it and the box barely moved. It didn't try to tip over. The drawer still fully functioned afterwards. So pretty excited about that stuff. What else do we got going on? Again, make sure you check out VCG Construction and the Home Handyman. Links will be down in the description. But look, isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice little set right there? Nice little socket. You got them all lined up. Boom, boom. You can even smush them together so they look nicer or whatever. Takes up hardly any space. Unfortunately, I don't believe you can add to it. I thought maybe it could. And I looked here at the bottom where they have a couple of Allens, and you'd think you could remove this and slide more onto it. But I found that with that, you got tighter and tighter tolerances. You'd have to take from the other ones. They don't sell the individual pegs. Shame on you, Home Depot. If you're gonna sell something pretty cool like this, you should at least sell the extra pegs to put in here. So that's the only downside, I guess, about this. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5-star rating because I had a couple of these and I only ever had a problem with one where I broke a couple of the tabs off within like a 4-year period of owning it. So 3.5 star for sure. It's holding up well. It's good. That's a great organizer. It's just lacking as far as some of the sizing, because if I was to scoot all these down to the end, I still have plenty of room for a couple of little adapters or maybe universal joints or some oddball sockets. Speaking of oddball sockets, I picked up one 18mm Husky 1/2-inch shallow 12-point socket specifically for the stud nuts for my 6-liter that I'm doing the bulletproof kit on. So I needed an 18mm 12-point specifically for that, so I picked up the one and the only without having to have some big monster set of sockets again, because I've already got deeps and shallows, but they're all in 6-point. So since I just needed this one, I grabbed the one. Again, would have been nice if I could have bought some extra little deals. I could have just put this on the end of this current little rail. Safety glasses from Harbor Freight, had to pick those up, and we saw some channel lock pliers for oil filters that just looked freaking handy. Now, we have the bigger sets at work. I've got the band style ones too. I've got the specific capped ones for like Toyota and Ford. But look at how small these are for my hand. What I liked about them was that it had a big mouth, so you could actually get onto some of those smaller filters. Examples would be Nissan, Honda, Toyota, okay, the ones that actually had the oil filter on it. And you can reach up in that tighter spot with your hand and crack her on loose. So I thought, you know what? Pretty nice to have something like this in comparison to something that's really big like this that you can't actually get in there. And it has just a way different bite. You see the angle? So, you know, say what you will, but look, lube tech tools are very, very damn important. It's gonna be your main money maker. It's gonna be your main upselling area. You're gonna want to get you some really good, diverse oil filter removal tools, even down to the canister style sockets, which I actually have at work. They've been very handy throughout the years. But alright guys, oh, one more thing before we go. They don't have Duralast soft grip handles at my AutoZone. Somebody mentioned that. I went to check for that too, specifically. They did not have it. But that's all I got for this video. Thanks as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's content. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. And I hope you get a chance to go to a red, white, and blue sales event, whether it's at Home Depot, Harbor Freight, AutoZone, or whoever's putting it on. See what you can scoop up for that hot buy. Let us know what you got down in the comments. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.